Hello and welcome to the RogueLands Ultimate Weapon series. Today we're looking at a weapon that's been long in the works. It should have been shown a little while ago, but it wasn't. This is the lightning rod. For those that didn't see it, I made a video called How to Make Ultimate Weapons as just an extra to this series. And it showed you how to make, any ultimate weapon in the game, but the example I used was this, and this is the lightning rod. I did show it off in that video as well, but the in-depth chat is that wherever you click, you fire shock, the combat chip shock. As you can see here, just do it, bam. It does cost 2 mana per cast. As you can see, my mana is degenerating. I'm slowly getting more back, but 2 mana per cast, and it scales just as shock normally does, and that's a 1-to-1 with magic. I have got shock in here just to show you. A bolt of lightning deals damage in a vertical pillar, scales with magic. So it's cheaper than actual shock, because that one said it's worth 5 mana, and this one only costs 2, but it also replaces your weapon. So swings and roundabouts on how worth it is, but it seems okay if you like magic. Something doesn't feel right, that's not very good, is it? But as you can see here, 137. It has a prolonged hitbox, so if anything walks into it, I'm trying to see if I can do it without actually hitting him in the first place. It's pretty difficult. Walk. That's not gonna. That's fine. If your friend's got a bubblegum staff, they can push things into it. Hey, space pirates, they're a good example. There you go. Right, so they should be able to fly into it if they stop doing that. There you go. He sort of flew into it. There you go. Showing it off in full force now. So there you go. It's a pretty good weapon, all in all. I can recommend it if you like magic. There are things that hit harder, and it's a bit awkward to use sometimes. But because it's a pillar, you feel like a wicked, and you do a little cool spin every time you use it. But of course, because it's a pillar as well, it's awkward, but it can also hit enemies multiple times if they're big enough. So bosses sometimes have a bit of a problem with it, and I'll show you that on the Ragorak in just a moment or two. Now, if it was up to me, and I was going to make a weapon from the Seraphim staff, depending on what build you like, I'd just pick one that works for you, but I'd still go Caster Sword most of the time, because I think it's one of the best weapons in the game, if not the absolute best, just at base. Here we go. Right, so what I need to do is just spawn a Ragorak, and I'll show you how he plays. Tyrannog, my man. Stop being a dingleberry. Be dead, please. And then we'll show you actually the range of the pillars. I don't do that much damage because my magic isn't that high. I will show you the range of the pillars. I might have just shown them then without even realising, but I wasn't looking at them then, so I'll show you again anyway. Wow. Okay, so now I've got no mana left. You can see I can still cast shock, but my mana doesn't regenerate because I'm just using it as soon as it comes up. But you can still cast it even with no mana or with 1 mana. It works just fine. Anyway, while I'm here and I've got this weird little tunnel, I'm going to cast shock down here and then run all the way up and you'll see how big the hitbox is. There you go, stops about there where it was. Unfortunately the black bars at the top sort of show it off a little bit. Maybe I can fall and see it instead. There you go. You can sort of see the height. It's decently large. It sort of fills from here, from roof to top. So from roof to top, roof to floor, which makes it kind of useful for blocking things off, and of course beating enemies, which I'll show you right now. So I'm going to let him fly past me and curve round, and I can hit him multiple times with that because it's a prolonged hitbox and it can strike more than once. And there you go. So although the damage doesn't do that much to these enemies, let's say, it does good damage to herds of enemies because you hit them all at once in a big old line, the same way the ice wall would, for example. And beyond that, obviously being able to strike bosses multiple times as well is very, very useful. And it can keep you quite safe because I knock back your enemies. And there's pretty much nothing can get close to you as long as nothing crosses a threshold in the little cooldown. I think it's very good for killing wasps. I've got to say that because I hate wasps in general. They are dreadful. Their tiny hitboxes make them horrible to fight unless you've got a sword. Or this, or something like it anyway. Because at least this way you can block them out or keep an area straight in front of you safe. And you never have to worry about stuff like that. In theory, you can use it preemptively to check if there's anything above you and keep yourself safe from things that might fall, which is good. There's lots of little tips and tricks you could use with this, none of which I fully understand because I don't use it that often. But it is a good weapon. It's one I can recommend if you are scaling off magic and you like shock as a combat chip in general. maybe give it a go. That's the best advice I can give you for this one, honestly. It's not my favourite, but I also don't hate it. It's one that I definitely consider using at some point in the future. But again, character slots are the bane of my life. But there you go. That's it. That's the lightning rod. Again, you make it by combining a Seraphim staff with an Aetherlight prism in Mech City. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for joining me once again. If you do want to see more videos in this series, please stay tuned to the channel. Oh, I missed that. Please stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, because there is plenty more on the way. I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, we're on the home stretch now, so there isn't, you know, I'm just leveling up a few things and finishing them. I've got most of the hard work done, research and development sort of out of the way. But that's it, obviously. Until next time, please look after yourself, because I'd like to see you again. And until then, please. I'm going to ask you to look after yourself, but that's ridiculous. I've asked you twice then. Have fun. See you later.